Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
You have got to get up pretty early to go do something. We are the Alternative Dig Talk. With our mobile studios, we are redefining TV presentation just as technology is setting the pace. We are blending our approach with fresh, perspectively designed breakfast show, The Mighty Drive, informative and entertainment show, exclusive and live interviews.
We President Museveni wadde juzi namulaba apima akawunga kilo 2 tasobola kalya nini bwaba alya kilo 5 oyannema okuliisa eggwanga ne bwe limundekera.
Njagala kwebaza the Alternative Dig Talk etuwadde kano ka Mighty Drive era n'abatuwuliriza bonna abali ku mikutu njagala basaba mugendo mu maaso n'okuwuliriza.
All given to you just a click away on your phone, tablet, laptop and smart TVs as we are streaming live on our social media platforms, on the road and on the go. We are the Alternative Dig Talk.
Omusajja bulijjo muwa ssente mu kibanja mpola ng'asonda poloti ennungi naye ngenza okutuuka nga woofiisi bulijjo wenteeka ssente baavaawo nadda essimu tebazikwata kyokka nga n'ebyentambula byakaweeregga ebiseera bya kovidi yenga ndabye
gwe baakubye naye lwaki weesiga abafere lwaki tewanneebuuzaako ne nkulagirira ba praise nze be bannyamba nze njokke.
Praise Property Consultants Uganda Limited bagula n'okutunda ettaka kw'ossa n'amayumba bapunta ettaka ne bakwanguyiza okufuna ekyapa bazimba amayumba kw'ossa n'okuba plan ne architectural design balina ploti enteeketeeke wonna w'ogyetaaze ate ku byapa ebya private Miloland n'ebibanja ku ttaka lya Kabaka era bakkiriza ekibanja mpola basange ewandegeya mu katale ka KCCA Southern Wing leve eyokusatu lumu 128 oba ku ssimu 0706 147 006 ne 0783 821 918.
Hello beautiful people, you're welcome to the Snap Talk with your girl Teddy Tenjo every Saturday right from 6 to 7.
It is your responsibility omwana wo kubeera mu nyumba nga teyasuze bweru mbo bamubanja rent. Koyo kulaba abalenzi abasajja abakunga butuufu tebabuulirirwa nga babulamu.
Towerabira nti tuli wano ku the Alternative Dig Talk mukwano gwange gwali topic kiri wandyagadde twogereko. Is it about family?
You can take your time, look for a job, stabilize, men will come, men will always be there, you will get the men. Bonna goyagala musajja yenna goyagala ojja mufuna.
Embaga ketuuke bino bintu byasenga nawe ojja bafuna.
Naye ng'oli asitudde tuyakedde ku makyabbaga nti nsitudde naye nga mutuufu agambye nti gy'akyali muto.
Is it outside family? Is it society? Oh, could it be relationships? Just be commenting a topic yona gyandyagadde twogereko tujjako tujogera kwano ku the Alternative Dig Talk ku share enganzi the Snap Talk.
Hey Ugandans, I'm Lieutenant Colonel Dewa Kiki, the Deputy Defense Spokesperson and actually the Deputy Spokesperson for the Uganda People's Defense Forces. I was hosted on Alternative Digitalk. I encourage all Ugandans that this is the way to go. Always watch, participate, give your views and ask questions on Alternative Digitalk. Digitalk, the way to go.
Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
We are 12 minutes into the hour of 7 a.m. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome to this edition of the Mighty Drive Show. My name is Edgar Mathew Karuhanga. I am here on a cloudy morning, as it is always right here in Lukuli, Konge. That is where we are stationed today. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard. Thank you for joining me on yet again another expedition of the Mighty Drive. We're delving into discussions up to 9 a.m. That is what we do every day. We promised to break down having a conversation with Uganda, with you people, and we always try to fulfill. We are late, but better late than never. We apologize for those few minutes that we have really come late, but ladies and gentlemen, we are sorry. And we start off the discussion. We have a couple of stories that have been trending all over the country and all over the world. Starting from here, the Uganda Revenue Authority, URA, celebrates 30 years of serving Ugandans. I don't know if that is serving, or, but of course, taxation and taking taxes is a service, because at the end of the day, it is through these taxes that the country develops, and various individuals and government proprietorships and a lot of things are done. So the Uganda Revenue Authority from 1991 up to 2021, that makes 30 years in service of Ugandans. In other news, from Masaka, Segirinya and Sewanyana have been actually granted bail, ladies and gentlemen. That was yesterday, and they were, in fact, it was granted to them on Monday, but that is when, yesterday is when it was actually paid up in the banks. Ladies and gentlemen, the two legislators, or lawmakers, are out of prison, and they will be facing their trials outside, coming from their particular homesteads instead of being incarcerated in Chigo prisons where they were earlier remanded at the start of this particular month. In other news, the MP, in fact not the MP, he's the Speaker of Parliament, Mr. Jacob Olanya, has actually come out and told the Ugandans and everybody, the whole public and the whole world, that the bills that had not been passed by the 10th Parliament are going to be redebated again by the 11th Parliament. We are starting on a new scratch. They are starting from scratch, and they are, ladies and gentlemen, going to be debating. Among the biggest of the bills is the NSF bill that was mandating any individual who has kept his money for more than 10 years to be able to claim at least 20% of his entire retirement benefits. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, and that will be the topical discussion today. We shall be talking about these things, but I think we will have a guest also joining us in a few minutes from now. I am with Lilian Luwedde, the Princess Omumbejja, as I like to call her Princess. She will be joining me later on in the show. And this show is proudly powered by Praise Property Consultants. As you know, they deal in everything land. We include land on the various roads that leave this capital, Kampala. We have the one of Mitiana Road. They have land there. That is BWG, Kobulenga, Bulaga, Buloba. They have land all over that road. There is also Masaka Road, Chengera, we're talking Nabingo, we're talking all the various parts of that particular road. They also have land on Gayaza Road, we have, all the places that are along that Gayaza Road. You can find them on, their number is 0706 7006 or 0783821918. One individual told me that I'm always fast while reading these numbers, but I'll try to slow them a bit. The number is 0706 147006 or 0783821918. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, you'll be able to call in the second hour of the show right here and talk to us, talk to Lilian, and talk to the guest that we shall be having right here. The numbers are 0759 1323 10. You'll be seeing them on your screen, and the other number is 0789 017 145. Those are the numbers that you can call and get in touch with all of us. To bring you this is Rogers Tudahawe, my producer of the day, and Teddy Tenjo Nabukera, who's on camera, whereas Kato Tumsime is the director of the show. Ladies and gentlemen, let's delve into the discussion today. URA celebrates 30 years of serving Ugandans. URA was started off, that was in I think 1991, and they have from that time really served Ugandans by collecting taxes from the various individual stakeholders, companies and organizations. So URA has really boosts of growing Uganda's economy, and they think that they shall be the leading the leading entity that gives government a lot of revenue that will help in developing the country. They also seek to serve Ugandans and develop them through various campaigns that they shall be doing as the Uganda Revenue Authority. So URA is celebrating 30 years of serving Ugandans. That's a very, very big milestone, having a legal body, a body like that, an entity that has been serving Ugandans for over 30 years. That is something that we can actually boast of. Sewanyana and Segirinya were actually granted bail earlier on in the week, that was yesterday, after they were incarcerated following the murders that were going on in Masaka. Remember Masaka, where people were, in fact, over 27 people were murdered in cold blood, and according to the police investigations, these two legislators were behind some of the murders that were in Masaka. So they were granted bail, and I will not be talking a lot about this because, it's a matter of sub judice. But what was surprising about what happened there was that these gentlemen were requested for 40 million shillings cash bail. That is a lot of money for a Ugandan, but maybe because they are lawmakers and legislators, that really says a lot about them. That means they can actually afford this money. So these two gentlemen were granted cash bail of 40 million. That means 20 million each, and the bonds, or people, the sureties, they were requested 100 million non-cash. So that is what has been happening in those parts of Masaka and Chigo prison where the trials were going on. Uganda continues to celebrate Archbishop John Luwanga, the fallen Archbishop of the Orthodox Church. Following his demise 2 weeks ago, he passed on in Athens, Greece, as I've been telling you right here on the show. So this gentleman, the Archbishop John Karuhanga, he has been respected by many. The President of Uganda also celebrated him. Bobi Wine Kyagulanyi Centre also was there to lay him to rest. We had also the Katikiro of the Prime Minister of Buganda, Katikiro Charles Peter Maiga, also celebrating this individual. He has lived a life, and yes, as the alternative dictator, we also continue to celebrate his life, because such lives are not lost, they are actually celebrated. So we celebrate Archbishop John Luwanga with the rest of Ugandans, in fact, with the Orthodox Church. He was laid to rest in Namungona, where he will forever be remembered as one individual who put a stone, in fact a very big stone, on the Orthodox Church. Ladies and gentlemen, keeping up with Joseph Chameleon Mayanja, I'm not going to speak so much about this particular gentleman. He keeps on professing what his name professes. Excuse me. When he surprised Ugandans, that was yesterday, but one Monday, and he turned yellow. Yes, chameleon turns yellow again. He first turned, I think, green, then he turned, he first turned Gemma. Gemma, I don't know which color Gemma is. Then we saw him, being arraigned in the Uganda Young Democrats Association, I think UID. That was the Democratic Party. They were boasting of having Joseph Chameleon, forgetting that he was a chameleon himself. He came in the National Unity Platform, and unfortunately the ticket was not given unto him. I think some people knew him better, that he might be the chameleon that he always professes. And ladies and gentlemen, he is now yellow, and because of this, we saw him actually kneeling for a gift that was given unto him. That was a Range Rover, man. A Range Rover is a very good car. If it were you, would you actually kneel down? A legend like Joseph Chameleon, who has driven Escalades and various big cars. He has a Land Cruiser that he bought, I think that was 2019. And yes, he knelt down in appreciation for the Range Rover Sport. If it were you, wouldn't you kneel down? But that is not a lot of news. That's just a by the way. Chameleon always does that, what he does best. That is change colors. Ladies and gentlemen, Fred Nyanzi continues to say that he is going to appeal in the Court of Appeal following the High Court judgment, where his case was actually thrown out by the judge, saying that he had not petitioned Mohammed Insereko and informed him that he had actually opened up a case against him. So they found it valid to throw out this particular case in regards to the Member of Parliament. Fred Nyanzi actually has been sending a lot of petitions. I think for a long time he is one person who does not give up. I think he really wants that seat of the Kampala Central. But remember, in the elections that passed, that was in January, this particular gentleman actually was second behind Mohammed Insereko. Not a lot of votes behind him. I think there were about 1,000, in fact 800 votes. So I think that small margin is the margin that Freddie Nyanzi is actually still clinging on up to now. And the Ministry of Health has actually started up a drive to make sure that they vaccinate all not all Ugandans, but a couple of Ugandans until the end of this particular month. Remember, the Pfizer vaccine that was imported in the country is going to be expiring, or is due to expire at the end of this particular month. So the Ministry of Health has actually come out to say that they are going to make a drive that will encourage that many Ugandans, as many as possible, be vaccinated and not spoil the vaccines that were actually bought costly. Remember, each vaccine costs a lot of money, and so they're making sure that all Ugandans. So what they are going to do is that they're going to bring these vaccines to the district level, so you can actually go to the district and make sure you get yourself a shot or a vaccine. They are going to prioritize more the elderly and the teachers and maybe the young pupils, so that they can return to school. So the Rogers to the Ahabwes and the Changes of this world, first wait a bit. Chambogo University also graduates over 9,000 individuals. These are students that have been studying at the institute, in fact, it's not an institute, it's an university. When it's an institute, but a mini institute in just the other way around, not the literal meaning of institute. But Chambogo University celebrates and graduates over 9,000 students. But the question remains, do these students have, the job? Is the job market able to accommodate the 9,000 students that are being, sent out of schools each and every year? And this is just one institution. So when you look at other institutions like Makerere University, like Kampala University and other universities, even, the small business schools and everything, how many students are getting out of school each particular year? So that is a question that we should ask ourselves, and maybe the government should also find a way, or find any method of bringing these students into the job market, but in a way that is going to help them and help the government itself. There's a lot of unemployment in the country, so we hope that this will be put into consideration. Still talking entertainment, Jamie culture really runs mad. This is something that has surprised many people. But this boy has a lot of talent. He has done a lot of songs. Have you heard of the hit Sabasali? Is a very, very beautiful song from that young man. But as we are speaking right now, he's battling mental health illnesses. So keep him in your prayers as you continue to pray for the country and, in fact, for the music industry. And it is surprising. In fact, it's not surprising that this particular gentleman started to show signs and symptoms of mental illness after the lockdown. You remember the lockdown that was there. That was in fact when the lockdown had just started. That was the lockdown of March 2020 when it was first instituted. That is the last time he paid rent to his rent areas to his landlord. And that is the particular time where this gentleman started to, start having these mental illness problems. Agent banking continuing to be, a portal for fraud in the country. So the people and the tellers who have been working in the agent banking systems have actually shown that there is a loophole where individuals are accessing money that belongs to the private citizens. So you should be careful, and in fact banks should actually be careful, because they brought up a system that maybe encouraged all the low income earners to actually save in real time. But the problem is this portal has been used by fraudsters and opportunists to actually take over the finances of different Ugandans and access their accounts through all the agent banking and also these online applications. So the problem is we have developed a culture of online and agent banking, but have we actually been able to protect ourselves very well and our data and information that belongs to the customers and the bank itself? Because this is a very big challenge. So I think that is what we have today as we're coming to an end. Drunkards, if you know you're a drunkard and you have multiple sexual partners, you're not going to be able or eligible to donate blood. This is from the Uganda Blood Transfusion Services. Yeah, these people deal in donation of blood, and they make sure that Ugandans can donate their blood and save life, because they say donate blood and save life. But if you're a drunkard and you have multiple sexual partners, you're not going to be in position to save anybody's life, because your life is also at risk. That is what the Uganda Blood Transfusion Services have actually told Ugandans. So if you are a drunkard and you take a lot of mind-altering substances, you won't be able to donate blood to any citizen of the country. As I told you, the Parliament of Uganda is going to redebate the bills that had not been passed by the 10th Parliament. That was said by the Speaker of Parliament, Mr. Jacob Olanya. And among these bills, there is the NSSF bill. As I told you, the NSSF bill mandates that a Ugandan can access his money after he has served with NSSF for more than 10 years, and he can access at least 20% of his savings. So this has actually been sent back to Parliament, in fact by the President himself. Even before the Speaker talked about this, the President sent back this particular bill and said there are some things that should be amended before he actually endorses this particular bill to start to be passed into law. So what is happening in Parliament is that what they are trying to do is that they're going to do it expeditiously, making sure that they sign the NSSF bills and make sure that at least they have this out of the way, at least in a month's time, so that Ugandans can start accessing their income as much as possible. People are worrying that if they are going to redebate every bill, aren't we going to start from scratch? But they have said, according to the Parliament, they are going to take an expeditious action on the NSSF bill in particular, so that Ugandans can actually access their funds in real time. Still talking Parliament, parliamentary committees have actually been, there is a narrative that is going on that these particular entities are actually being bribed or funded by other entities apart from Parliament. Remember, the parliamentary committees have power to sanction anybody, call him to oath and talk to him, in fact, in various capacities. They have powers of the High Court of this country. So when you look at the parliamentary committees, according to the Speaker of Parliament, these people are being bribed through what he called as breakfast meetings, field trips and workshops. The MPs go to these particular field trips, workshops and breakfast meetings, and they are actually bribed, or they are paid something by the ministries and other entities. This makes this brings up a problem of sanctity of the members of Parliament and these parliamentary committees. Are they actually able to execute their works in a partial way, in fact, if they are actually being funded by some entity? So he advised that if you want to stay relevant, and your Parliament actually has to stay relevant, you have to stand your ground and do not accept these small tokens of appreciation that are actually bribes in the real sense of the word. Ladies and gentlemen, 30 minutes past the top of the hour, that is 7:30, and that was at least some of the news that has been going around in the country. I've not given you news from outside the country, that is in the international scene, but tomorrow in the in-house Thursday we'll dig deep into this discussion and talk to Lilian and talk to other different people and just bring up to you what we think and what we deem best for you. That will be on the international scene. Remember, you're still keeping up with what is happening in Guinea Conakry. Kano Mamado, I like his name, Kano Mamado Domboya. Domboya is still fidgeting with the country, Guinea Conakry. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Edgar Mathew Karuhanga. We're going for a short commercial break because the Mighty Drive starts now.
Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Omusajja bulijjo muwa ssente mu kibanja mpola ng'asonda poloti ennungi naye ngenza okutuuka nga woofiisi bulijjo wenteeka ssente baavaawo nadda essimu tebazikwata kyokka nga n'ebyentambula byakaweeregga ebiseera bya covid yenga ndabye
gwe baakubye naye lwaki weesiga abafere lwaki tewanneebuuzaako ne nkulagirira ba praise nze be bannyamba nze ndyokke Praise Property Consultants Uganda Limited bagula n'okutunda ettaka kw'ossa n'amayumba bapunta ettaka ne bakwanguyiza okufuna ekyapa bazimba amayumba kw'ossa n'okuba plan ne architectural design balina ploti enteeketeeke wonna w'ogyetaaze ate ku byapa ebya private Miloland n'ebibanja ku ttaka lya Kabaka era bakkiriza ekibanja mpola basange Wandegeya mu katale ka KCCA Southern Wing leve ey'okusatu lumu 128 oba ku ssimu 0706 147 06 ne 0783 821 918.
Hello beautiful people, you're welcome to the Snap Talk with your girl Teddy Tenjo every Saturday right from 6 to 7.
It is your responsibility omwana wo kubeera mu nyumba nga teyasuze bweru mbo bamubanja rent. Koyo kulaba abalenzi abasajja abakunga butuufu tebabuulirirwa nga babulamu.
Towerabira nti tuli wano ku the Alternative Dig Talk. Mukwano gwange gwaliye topic ki wandiyagadde twogereko. Is it about family?
You can take your time, look for a job, stabilize, men will come, men will always be there, you will get the men. Bonna goyagala musajja yenna goyagala ojja mufuna.
Embaga ketuuke bino bitu byasenga nawe ojja bafuna.
Naye ng'oli asitudde tuyakedde ku maca baga nti nsitudde tu naye nga mubutuufu agambye nti gy'akyali muto.
Is it outside family? Is it society? Oh, could it be relationships? Just be commenting a topic yonna gyandiyagadde twogereko tujjako tujogera kwano ku the Alternative Dig Talk ku share enganzi the Snap Talk.
Hey Ugandans, I'm Lieutenant Colonel Dewa Kiki, the Deputy Defense Spokesperson and actually the Deputy Spokesperson for the Uganda People's Defense Forces. I was hosted on Alternative Dig Talk I encourage all Ugandans that this is the way to go. Always watch, participate, give your views and ask questions on alternative Digitalk. Digitalk, the way to go.
The Alternative Digitalk. Real issues, real talk.
Welcome back from that commercial break. It is the Mighty Drive. My name is Princess Luwedde Lilian Edgar. Tukyagendera maaso nkujjukiza tuli proudly sponsored by Praise Property Consultants Uganda. Eri gweyagala okubanga ogula ettaka oba ennyumba, oyagala goba ku byacapa, oyagala kuzimba, balina plots futataano ku buli 10 mu bitundu by'eggwanga eby'enjawulo, Nansana, Gayaza, Matuga, Bujuuko n'ebitundu by'eggwanga eby'enjawulo. So bekwate offices zaabwe ziri wandege ya katale ka KCCA room number 10 oba obakubire ku namba zaabwe z'essimu 0706 147 006 oba 0783821918. Tukyagenda ddala mu maaso era nga olwaleero tulina omukyala mu studios, omukyala Wani Olivier era ng'ono musomesa. Tugenda kuba twogera ku nsonga z'ebyokusoma bo abasomesa abamaze ebbanga nga tebakola kikyate kye babadde beekoledde oluvannyuma lw'ebbanga lino ate eggwanvu yali yadda mu bintu birala oba akyalindidde okuddayo okubeera omusomesa. Byonna birindiriye tugenda kuba tubidisikasinga ate mu programu yaffe ey'olwaleero. Nine munnange Edgar Mathew Karuhanga, naye nga mu kaseera kano nga sikulwisizaayo njagala tugende ddala ate ew'omugenyi asooka abuuze ku batulaba, then tutandike programu yaffe mu bujjuvu. You're most welcome.
Thank you.
Say hello to our viewers.
Hi, my name is Wani Olivier, a nursery teacher. I greet all of you who are on TikTok. Nice to meet you.
You are most welcome indeed.
Thank you.
So how have you been?
You know, life has not been easy because by the first lockdown, we were not really prepared for that lockdown. So most of us, even me myself, I went for hotel and now I'm working. That's how I'm surviving. In a hotel.
So you resorted into something else?
Yeah. As
Do you have
we wait
any plans
for.
of going back to?
Yeah, if they open, I'll go back. Yeah.
I must say that it's the first time I'm interviewing as a teacher, so, and it's the teachers that really build our country. How do you feel being a teacher? When you were starting up this profession, did you like what you were doing?
I really didn't like it.
You didn't like it?
Yeah.
You were forced into doing the course?
Yeah, I just went there because of some situations, because you find some courses are too expensive, so that's what I managed. Yeah.
Okay, so you started teaching. When did you start particularly teaching?
I started in 2019.
Okay, so you've been 2 years.
So
into the
just
practice.
1 year, then lockdown.
Aye, my dear, for you guys, it started in tears for you. But the good thing is that the government has actually been prioritizing you people. So on the way you were starting to teach these young people, how has your experience been teaching young children? Because now being a nursery, sometimes I wonder, a nursery teacher, you know, these kids, they look to be stubborn, they're too young. Sometimes it takes patience, doesn't it?
Yeah, it takes patience, but if you are trained so you know how to handle those stubborn ones, even if the child is behaving like house, so
funny.
You have to look for a good way of handling, but not caning.
But this thing of not caning students is also another problem. You're pampering them, aren't you?
No, you see, like those young babies, you'll cane her today, tomorrow she will not come back. So you need to look for other ways. You just say, you are such a good boy. Tomorrow, if you do this, I will give you this.
That brings one thing I had from teachers that when you're teaching these young people, like for example, when she's on a bowl, a potty, that's what they call a potty. You have to clap for them and you sing for them. I don't know how you think.
That's too much.
No, that's the truth.
That's too much.
I'm telling you.
Singing for you.
Hey,
when you dig your business.
Ask her. She's a teacher. Trust me. When the baby is young, instead of rebuking them for doing that, you just have to be cheering them on.
But at the end of the day, they're going to do it again.
But I think there is a mental thing. I think it's by professions. They say that is actually what is supposed to be done, isn't it?
Anyway, that one I can't believe. Anyway, it depends on every teacher, the way he behaves.
The style of teaching. Okay. But the 1 year you have been teaching before lockdown came through, how was your experience? Because now I'm looking at you from a perspective, you've just entered the trade. How was it for you?
But even when I was still at school, I used to teach.
Oh, so you had already been in the practice?
Yeah, because there's school practice. They have to meet you at school. Like they see how,
what we did it's called internship for us. Yeah. Okay.
So the whole of 2018, I was in school practice.
Okay.
So in 29 you officially started.
Yeah.
Okay. And in 2020 lockdowns happened.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we start at home.
Okay. So the challenge is you as a teacher, what do you think? Nursery school has not been, these kids have not been studying for 3 years, I think, because 2 years. Yeah. But when you look at that time, it's a long time for a nursery child because they have not attended school. What do you think is missing in this time in the government? What have they not looked at? Because for you as a teacher, what do you think is happening in the mind of the student?
Actually, the children have really missed. You find a child who was like 3 years in 2020. Now he's 4 to 5 years. The child has grown, and more especially in the villages. Like here, at least some children, they are being learning.
Yes.
But deep in the village, a child is 5 years, she doesn't know anything. And again, they are saying, we don't have, I don't think whether nursery schools will open. So it will be a hard time for those P1 teachers. They will suffer a lot. Because to bring a child from there, from nowhere, direct to P1.
Yeah. Remember they said that all classes should just be promoted.
So it will really disturb those primary teachers, those P1 teachers. Because in primary, in nursery, they do a lot of work. A child goes to P1 when she can read, she can spell, and she knows. Yeah. But now they bring a child from nowhere, from zero, direct to P1. I wonder how the government will do it, maybe.
But they're saying these students are going from home, so they feel like maybe they could just be promoted. Do you think they're just doing it for the sake?
Yeah, it's okay. They should be promoted because you can't, like a child who was like 4 years, 2020, now is going to 7 years. Will you put that child in baby class because you have to go to that level, P1 or P2? They have to go according to the level.
But the problem is the merit. You've gone to that level, but have you gone there on merit? Have you really gone through what you're supposed to go through as a child? Because now they're just passing you because again it's not intentional.
Yeah. Anyway, they have not really got what they are supposed to get. But I think the government should think about the nursery schools so much because they do a lot of work.
What do you guys do as a nursery teachers?
In the lockdown?
No, not in the lockdown, but when we're going to talk about the lockdown, but when you are actually teaching, and what do you think the government is missing out? You as a teacher, when you look at the things the students have to read and go through, what do you think they're missing if they're just promoted like that?
Actually, they miss a lot because in nursery, they have to train a child all the sounds. For example, like in primary they teach only letters A, B, C, D, but a primary teacher doesn't have much time for this young child, because in nursery they have to teach sound per sound from A up to the last one. Even to tell this sound A is for apple, sound B, and those things take a lot of time. Yeah, a child to move from A up to Z.
For them to master it.
Yeah, to master the sounds and what they stand for, or the words which begin with that sound. It's really a hard work.
Yeah, because I'm thinking these children are actually, they're so young at that time, and now promoting them just because they have grown, but they have not read is also another very big challenge.
Big problem, really. Yeah.
But do you think the government has considered you as the nursery teachers? Because now if they are saying that nursery schools are not going to open soon, I mean, that means a lot.
Anyway, the government have not really considered us, but we are requesting the government should think about the nursery school, because even if they just promote those children to P1, there will be no quality work at the end, because those children will spend much time still on this child so that he can catch up. It may spend like the whole year still doing that nursery job again, which is wastage of time.
Okay, so
yeah,
it's better if they brought back to the same classes they were, old as they are.
Yeah, at least they do something.
Old as they are, and then they go back to nursery.
Anyway, I think the government should, or they should divide like at least P1A, P1B, P1A, they first begin the other work they missed. Yeah, because it will not be easy.
Okay, but the thing
just continue, because P1 they have notes. A child who is from down there, from baby class to go direct to P1, it will be a tug of war. He doesn't know how to read. He doesn't even know how to handle a pencil. And P1 have ever seen their book, they really have notes. They have a lot of work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, okay, I understand, but the thing, let's come back to the schools. Are they actually safe for the reopening for these young children? Because now as we're looking at these young children, they're not actually accepted to wear masks their age. So, aren't we putting them at the risk of contracting COVID-19? Because these people don't know how to social distance. They're young children, for crying out loud.
Yeah. But I think we have to try all the best so that we can handle them. Maybe to have few pupils in one class, or all pupils to be, and they're not allowed to be vaccinated. They're still young. They begin wrong.
Yes, of course. That is also another. So that is what
using sanitizers and to put more restrictions on the gates.
Okay, and the gates, yes, that will do. That will work. They'll tell the security guards, you know what? Keep these ones, check them, vaccinate them, take their temperature. But now we're talking in class, because we don't know where these children are coming from, and few of them will be in a boarding section because they are young. So they will be coming from home, and everybody has their own home. And the teachers that are yet to be vaccinated, by the way, because as you're speaking, 50% of the teachers have got the first vaccine only. Yeah. The ones who have got double vaccines, I think they're in like over 10%. So, aren't we risking them because when they start, they're kids and they're going together, they're sharing things, they're sharing tiffinies, they're going together to the toilet, they're singing. Isn't that a challenge to us?
Okay, I think all children are the same, even the primary kids.
Okay.
They interact the same. Yeah.
But these ones are younger.
So, yeah, they are younger, but
they're the same.
So I think they should put much effort on the parents also. Like, if the parent brings the child, they have to check the temperature of the parent and the child so that they confirm how is this child. Okay. If the temperature is not normal or he has a problem, they should immediately leave him home.
Okay.
So that he should not interact with others, which may cause diseases.
Okay. Let's talk about the e-learning process of these particular students. As you as teachers, there are schools right now, I hear the schools that belong to the rich folks, the international schools, they're actually teaching. The students are learning right now. Can you adopt that system, or do you think it's adaptable for the nursery school teachers?
I don't think, because all those things, I think it is the government first to fight for the nursery schools. Because we as nursery teachers, there's nothing we can do, because all things begin from there. If they can accept, yeah, we shall continue.
But e-learning, do you think it's actually feasible? Is it can we apply it in our country right now, as you see? Because now, as I've told you, the international schools are the ones that are doing this, and the international schools are those the ones that belong to. We call them the bijodolo. Bijodolo amyabisiki. Bebasobola okubera mwezo ebintu. So, do you think our system can actually even support it? You teachers can even afford the data?
We cannot. In fact, in Uganda, we see, like, deep in the villages, most parents, they depend on farming, and you see their income is very low. I think if we do that, we may be leaving other people. It will create a gap between some people. Only the rich will continue with this, but
which is already
other people are remaining behind.
They're not just creating it; it's already there.
Happening. Because in the cities, some kids are learning, and then in the villages, others are not.
They are sitting since 2020, since the lockdown came. I don't think in the villages any child who is learning.
Do you think the government has put emphasis on education to see that all children are on the same level? The ones in the urban centers and then the ones in the rural areas?
I don't really think, because in urban areas, most children, at least the parents have money and they can pay for some teachers to coach their kids. But in the village, no, all kids are just seated at home. Yeah.
Okay, we still have Oliver Wanji. She is a teacher, and she has joined us on the Mighty Drive, and we are having a discussion with her, talking about the safe reopening of these particular schools. And you know, there's a problem in the country right now, as you're speaking, is that some teachers, in fact, some schools are already teaching their students, and which has brought up a gap or a lapse, because now they're saying the people who belong to the less privileged families are not going to school, and they cannot even afford the data. We're talking about students, because as the president was saying, 15 million students are in the country right now. But 15 million, many of them are in the rural areas of this country. Can these actually afford the data and the facilities for the e-learning processes? Because now we're seeing that the international schools are still going on. Are we having a lapse? What do you think this brings to the country today? Having students that are going to school, and then having other students that are actually not going to school. What do you think for the future as a teacher? Where do you see our country going with this style of administration? Let me say that.
I think the country is really missing a lot, because you find those people in the village, those children in the village, they would be the people who could study and maybe be big people in the future.
That is very, very true. Very, very true. Mathew has gone to Masaka. Many people have come from the rural areas of this country.
Yeah. So the government is, the country is missing a lot because of that.
Okay. What is the support you need from government today, if we're talking about support? Like, how can the government support you teachers? Before we actually delve into the topic of the students being impregnated, that is for not the young children. We're going to talk about the bigger children. But what do you think? What kind of support you as a teacher today you think you would need for the safe reopening of nursery schools, particularly for these young pupils?
At least the government should help. I think many schools are in rentals, and the bank is almost taking the schools.
These days, even the schools have been turned into other farms, they have been turned into carpentry workshops.
But at least if it has turned into other farm, activities. At least it is bringing money, but the government, the bank
banks
is
are also
almost
taking
taking
them.
us.
Yeah. Many schools have been taken and have been sold off.
Yeah.
At very, very meager prices.
So I think, anyway, I don't really think that the government can help us, because even last time they talked about giving some money to teachers.
Definitely.
But nothing.
Nothing.
They didn't even think.
It's only the government teachers that actually got that money, and you didn't.
So I don't really think whether the government can help private teachers. Because even the government is not talking. They talked about rentals. There's director of private teachers. They said they should sell the houses. Can you imagine? Is that helping? It is very hurting. Yeah.
That is the government. There's an individual I was watching yesterday.
I really don't think whether the government can help private. I just tell them that everyone should keep moving. Whatever you are doing, just keep moving. Yeah.
But aren't we losing teachers at the end of the day? Because now the teachers who are supposed to educate the land, the people, now they are leaving the trade. For example, now for you ventured into hotel management. Now there are also people who are, I've met very many teachers who are riding border. I was watching a teacher who's actually doing now informal sector. They are washing cars for people. Isn't this sad?
It's really sad, but because those teachers, they have their families, they have to eat, so they have to look for money. Yeah. In all ways, they have to look for money.
Need to be alive.
Yeah.
But we are losing teachers at the end of the day.
Yeah, we are losing them.
Others are complaining that we are using too much of English. We should use
Luganda.
You're okay with Luganda?
Oluganda olumanyi?
Yeah.
Tutokote tuwulire. Tokote Oluganda.
So, anyway, I'm not siri bulungi nnyo mu Luganda naye I can yeah. So
olusaba ku mmere
yeah.
Tutunulira ku the lockdown, how it has affected you mwenga abasomesa. Do you think mwina engeri gye muyambiddwamu, because now most teachers are resorted into doing other things?
Nga tuyambirwa gavumenti. Anyway, sinalabayo teacher even ne sente zanabanja ezajja ndi z'abasomesa. I think we never got oba batono nnyo abazifuna kale. Abali basomesa batono nnyo. Because as sente zonna zaaliwa abanene, those big people are the ones who eat the money. Yeah.
So for you, you're just left there.
Any teacher is just caring for her or himself.
Okay.
Yeah, no help.
We are going in for a short commercial break. You're still watching The Mighty Drive. My name is Mrs. Luwedde Lilian, with my co-host, that is Edgar, Mathew, Karuhanga, and our guest, Miss Wani Olivier. We're going in for a very short commercial break. We'll be right back.
Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
abasajja bulijjo muwa ssente mu kibanja mpola ng'asonda poloti ennungi naye ngenza okutuuka nga woofiisi bulijjo wenteeka ssente baavaawo nadda essimu tebazikwata kyokka nga n'ebyentambula byakaweeregga ebiseera bya covid yenga ndabye
gwe baakubye naye lwaki weesiga abafere lwaki tewanneebuuzaako ne nkulagirira ba praise nze be bannyamba nze njokke Praise Property Consultants Uganda Limited bagula n'okutunda ettaka kw'ossa n'amayumba bapunta ettaka ne bakwanguyiza okufuna ekyapa bazimba amayumba kw'ossa n'okuba plan ne architectural design balina ploti enteeketeeke wonna w'ogyetaaze ate ku byapa ebya private Miloland n'ebibanja ku ttaka lya Kabaka era bakkiriza ekibanja mpola basange Wandegeya mu katale ka KCCA Southern Wing leve eyokusatu lumu 128 oba ku ssimu 0706 006 ne 0783 821 918.
Hello beautiful people, you're welcome to the Snap Talk with your girl Teddy Tenjo every Saturday right from 6 to 7.
It is your responsibility omwana wo kubeera mu nyumba nga teyasuze bweru mbo bamubanja rent. Koyo okulaba abalenzi abasajja abakunga butuufu tebabuulirirwa nga babulamu.
Towerabira nti tuli wano ku the alternative dig talk mukwano gwange gwali topic kiri wandyagadde twogereko. Is it about family?
You can take your time, look for a job, stabilize, men will come, men will always be there, you will get the men. Bonna gwoyagala musajja yenna gwoyagala ojja mufuna.
Embaga ketuuke bino bintu byasenga nawe ojja bafuna.
Naye ng'oli asitudde ttu yakedde ku makyabbaga nti nsitudde ttu naye nga mubutuufu agambye nti gy'akyali muto.
Is it outside family? Is it society? Oh, could it be relationships? Just be commenting a topic yona gyanjagadde twogereko tujja kwa tujogera kwano ku the alternative dig talk ku share enganzi the Snap Talk.
Hey Ugandans, I'm Lieutenant Colonel Dewa Kiki, the Deputy Defense Spokesperson and actually the Deputy Spokesperson for the Uganda People's Defense Forces. I was hosted on Alternative Dig Talk. I encourage all Ugandans that this is the way to go. Always watch, participate, give your views and ask questions on Alternative Dig Talk. Dig Talk, the way to go.
The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
The Mathew Drive, the program joined Lava, Omumbejja, Luwedde, Lilian, Edgar, Mathew, Karuhanga, Omumbejja FM, Shala, Olive, Wani Olivier, batugenda maaso n'okugayagaya mu nsonga omukyalo ono omusomesa naye essaawa zino ate ebyobusomesa yasooka n'abiwummulamu oba n'abisimbako akati n'asooka dda mu bintu bya hotel management. Agenda kuba atubuulira nti wakati wa bino ebibiri kiriwa kyasinga okwagala ennyo nti because yatugambye nti we yali atandika obusomesa si kyekintu kye yali ayagala ennyo naye ate yakikola olw'ensonga ate eziteebereka. So beera ku byetugenda maaso n'okuba nga ate tutunuulira ku show yaffe y'olunaku luno olwolwaleero era nga we tunaaviira wano ndooza ajja kuba tuwaayo bakalowoozo konako neri omusomesa oyo amaze ebbanga lino lyonna lyonna nga takola naye ng'ate alindiridde ki ate ekiddako because amasomero kyakakasiddwa nti tegagenda kubulwawo mu mwaka guno wabula omwaka ogujja nga gwakatandika. So abasomesa abaggalwawo okuva omwaka oguwedde okutuuka ate omwaka ogujja bajja kuba bamalidde ddala emyaka 2 nga tebakola. So awo wenyininyini we tukyali gwe wenna alina ekibuuzo genda butereefu ku Facebook page yaffe the Alternative Uganda kiteeke ate tujja kuba nga tukisoma nga kyo tenaba kuba nga ewunziko wagwe anaba ye ayagadde okuba mu studios butereevu. Studio lines Airtel 0759 1323 or 0789017145. Katoke today ate omugeni waffe tuyongera okubanga ate tumubuuza ebibuuzo ate nga naye abiddamu butereevu. Mukyala Oliver.
Yes.
Wagambye wadda kati mu bya hotel management.
Yeah, is it Oliver or Olive?
Oliver.
Oliver.
Yeah.
So how is Mukyala Oliver, how is it okuva mu busomesa nodda ate mu hotel management?
Anyway, si kirungi nnyo nti nakyagala nnyo but nali kugenda n'ekyo so that nina okufunako akasente nange to survive. Yeah,
Mulimu Tibago, what's that one thing kye wali oyagala okukola when you were growing up?
Nali njagala kubeera radio presenter.
TV presenter na choshi wachikatagalira omukali. Tukuwe mukateko so what we want to if you but you can still be by the dreams are valid. For me I don't believe that, you know.
So you wanted to be a radio presenter.
Yeah.
Then no soka no gena in teaching. Then we'll get in teaching kati sawa zino oli mu hotel management.
Yeah.
Do you have any plans okola okutukiriza ekirooto ky'okuba nti you wanted to be a radio presenter?
Kati nabivaako. So njagala just okugenda mu maaso. I get more experience in teaching, even I go further. So that nange mu maaso nina ekirooto ky'okuteekako my own school. Yeah. On daycare center in future. Yeah.
That means you also liked the art of teaching, so that you want to also start.
I now like, but
before
when I was still at school, I never liked. When I was still at secondary, I said no. I never liked teaching. Yeah.
Nobody likes teaching, by the way. I think it's because of the teachers we have. Nobody grows up to say I want to be a teacher.
You know, most of them are nicknamed. Me, when I was young, I wanted to be a teacher at a certain point. But then the way we used to nickname teachers, I think that's where my that's where I switched things, and then I was like, let me just do something else.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Oliver. Oliver, madam, so we want to just maybe compare for us hotel management, where you've been doing the trade that you've been in for the last 1 year, I think, in fact 2 years, because you left school in that was 2020, March 18th. Yeah. So up to now, how have you found hotel management as a whole?
Okay, hotel management is really tiresome. It is really tiresome. And even I just pray hard they open schools. I don't really like it. Yeah.
So you want to go back in your teaching?
Yeah.
Okay. So you just leave the hotel management thing?
I'm just doing it for this period. Yeah.
Yes, I know. Many teachers are doing right now. But the risk is these teachers are not going to come back to schools. Many of them are not returning to schools, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that going to affect our education system?
It will affect really so much because most teachers have already left, and also their experience has now gone. 2 years sitting
at home.
Maybe at least some who are coaching, they can be still remind themselves of what to do. Even scheming, most teachers now, it will need a lot of review. I used to do like this, I used to do like this, so that you scheme and bring up good work.
Okay, now you see, now the thing is, there is a new curriculum that is on board now, and they are bringing new curriculums for the secondary and primary schools, and I don't know if it's going to apply for the nursery schools. But then, do you think the teachers are able to? They will be able to actually adapt to these new curriculums in this short time? I don't know. Do you think so?
In fact, if government is to open next year, by this time teachers will be getting workshops to train them on how they will break down that curriculum and to understand it.
And they're not there right now as you're speaking.
Already the year is going.
Definitely. 3 months to the end of the year.
So by this time teachers will be at least getting more used of that new curriculum.
Yeah. Which is not being done.
Yeah.
Doesn't that affect you guys and the competence that you're going to use? Like, your skill?
Yeah, it will really affect. Because you are seeing something new. Again, how will I do this? You need to find help from somebody. Yeah, it will really affect.
Okay. Let's compare and in fact, let's first talk about the mental health of the students. This is something that many people don't look at. In fact, it's not for the students alone, for the teachers as well. What do you think right now is how is the state of mind for these young children? For example, the young children who had just started baby class in February 2020, and they had started to adapt to the new school and the school environment, playing and singing and their friends, and then in just a month or two, boom, there's a closure of schools and they're not back up to now.
Yeah, children are really affected because you find now all what they think is to wake up, hey, I'm going to play with son. So, no homework, no what, just, today you are going to the other, you see in the villages, they go to mango trees, moving place to place. They really don't think about studying. Even they don't have, children have really missed hope. They have lost hope. Shall we really go back to school? Even they got tired, they now left everything. We shall go with what will come.
Wake up and watch TV.
Yeah.
But now how best do we handle such kids who have lost the morale of going back to school?
Even you see, like, at least those who are watching TVs, there are some good programs in some TVs which can motivate children and remind them of what they learned. But those in the village, where there's no TVs, they are just there. Yeah.
Even the radio stations up country are not actually doing this education and teaching, like what is done on CBS and other radio stations. But Wani, what about you, the teachers? How is your mental health now? Like, mental health is not something that Africans like to talk about. Generally, there's a friend of mine that says, mental health, he's a friend of mine, he's watching, in fact, he's watching the show right now. He likes that statement of but the fact is, how is the mental health of you teachers? How are you coping up? Psychologically, not just physically, livelihood and food and what, just emotionally. And you people who have been, who the only thing maybe you have dedicated your life to is teaching. So how are you mentally?
Yeah, I think this lockdown have affected us so much. And you find, like, when we are still teaching, we are used to eat this, you have to put on this, whatever you want. Na ye naku zino, you are not working, tulina wofuna sente. You find even you are not totally comfortable, even because I no longer have this, or you feel really you're not comfortable.
You feel that something is missing at the end of the day.
Again?
You feel that something is missing.
Yeah, you're not comfortable the way you used to be. Okay. Yeah.
To the parents during this COVID-19 pandemic, have they done or have they played their role as parents when it comes to at least educating these young ones?
But ola abazade nabo bali busy nnyo. You find bulunako omuzadde akeera kukola. Maybe sometimes both parents, mami akeera kukola ne daddy akola. Yeah. So abaana ne basigala ne housemaid.
House help.
Which house help? Okay. And that house help have not much time for those kids. Maybe they'll move and play with their friends outside. That's where you find many girls have got pregnant.
Speaking about pregnancy, no, continue, finish your
okay. Nosanga abawala bangi kati bafuna embuto because abazadde kale nze I think that abazadde tebakoze kimala okulabirira abaana more especially.
Yes, most parents think abasomesa they are the ones.
Yeah, they should do everything, which is not right. Yeah, because education begins from home. Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about the pregnancies, the teenage pregnancies. We all get it, huh? Girls are getting pregnant on the hour. Like every day, there are new statistics of girls that I guess students, in fact teens, let's first talk about why is this happening now?
Anyway,
is it a fault of the student? Is it the fault of the parent? Is it the fault of the government? Why are students getting so pregnant these days?
Kangambe, the blame is on everyone because we are all parents. Yeah. Even I will not say the blame is on the government because of not opening up schools. Because you as a parent at home, you have to teach your child.
Yes.
You should not do this, you should not do this. And you have to watch your child. What is he doing? Whom is playing with which people? In that way. So I think the most blame should be on us parents. I'm also a parent.
Before we look at the government.
Yeah, before we look at the government. Yeah. Because I don't think money is more better than our children. Even if you make money, but a child is really important in our lives. So we could not give all the time to make money and we leave our children getting spoiled.
What is the solution, you as a teacher, from a professional point of view? What do you suggest we as the community have to do? Because now, as you've cited out, we are all to blame. What is the way forward for reducing, these teenage pregnancies?
As a community, I think everyone should watch whose child are you seeing, because today it may be somebody's child, tomorrow yours. If you see any child going in a wrong way, please, you first consult the dad or the mom. Please, I saw your kid like this. What is going on? She's in this place. What is going on? So that we should bring up the kids so that they should not get all those problems they have got. Yeah.
But Machala Oliver, how do you see our education, our education system in the future? How do you see it?
Already our education system and it will be okay, but it have missed something. Yeah, because you find, but it have not missed so much because last year we had people who completed senior 6. Yeah. So even this year, I think, this year do we have? We don't have. So we have really missed because 2 years or 1 year is a big period. Yeah. You find a child who was supposed to be at the university is still waiting at home. Even a child who is supposed to be in senior 6 is still seated at home. That long period, even the mind is now getting into other things.
Some people have started even making the money, the students.
Yeah, I don't think those who have already tasted money, I don't think they will go back to school.
So how best would you as a teacher, how best can you convince this child to go back to school? Because now if someone has started touching money, because the mind is also filled with money. Yeah.
So I just tell them they should not lose hope. All these things, even COVID will end, everything will reach to an end. Nothing never ends. One day COVID will end and we shall continue with our usual life. Everything will go on.
Okay. So as we're coming to the end of the discussion today, let's talk about vaccination of the students and the teachers. You people, the government said they are going to prioritize you and vaccinate you. Have you been vaccinated?
Yeah, I got my first dose.
Wow, so you're among those lucky few.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's good.
I got only the first dose.
How about your colleagues, as you're talking in your WhatsApp groups as teachers, and you as teachers in your brackets? How do you think? How has the government, has it done an efficient job in vaccinating you people? Or how's the whole process?
Anyway, it is also us teachers to force ourselves because government have really done. So it is now our turn to also, if you really think that you want to still teach, we have to move. and also do something so that you get the vaccine. Not just sitting so that the government should bring at your home. No, we should just go and look for the vaccine we get. But another thing, people got so many informations in the social media which can scare. I myself, I was scared. I said, oh, should I go for that?
It's going to bring up blood because some people are saying it brings the devil in your body.
Yeah. Then one day my friend went. And then she got headache. I said, oh, will I also go? But later she got better. Then I said, okay, let me also go. I went and I didn't get any effect.
So ever since you are vaccinated, has anything happened to you?
Nothing.
So tell those people out there.
So I just advise all teachers, please let's go for vaccination because there's no bad effect.
Oliver, maybe your parting shots, your last remarks as we conclude the discussion today with you.
I thank you so much, Dig Talk, and I just encourage all teachers, please don't leave teaching because we used to say education is the key. So if we are really teachers, but we are no longer teaching, we leave our real job. How will the children think?
When they see a teacher on the washing bay with the student himself.
Even a student is at the washing bay. Let's not lose courage. Let's just continue with our usual life. Even if the COVID is still like this, let's do what we are doing, but know that you are a teacher. One day you'll be in class. And
so that means you now love that teaching so much.
I love it.
Oh, but you didn't love it at first.
I didn't love it at first.
What
but
really triggered you and then you're like, okay, let me just do the teaching.
The reason why I like teaching is that I have a kid. So I like when I'm teaching children because I also have.
You also teach
so I just think that if all people refuse teaching, who will teach my child? So I have to love teaching. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Miss Oliver Wani. Oliver Wani is a nursery school teacher and she has joined us. We brought her specifically because of what you're hearing in the country. Teachers are actually being vaccinated. Then many teachers have left the trend, or in fact the job. Many people are delving into, many teachers are delving into other prospective entities that are going to bring back their livelihoods. Many schools are closing, so in that regard we wanted to have a teacher and tell us from a professional point of view what is happening in the education sector. Thank you so much, Oliver, for coming through on the Mighty Drive. We hope to have you again, and it's been a pleasure having a teacher for the first time and interviewing her right here. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going for a short commercial break. When we return, the discussion continues.
Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
People, you're welcome to the Snap Talk with your girl Teddy Tenjo every Saturday right from 6 to 7.
It is your responsibility omwana wo kubeera mu nyumba nga teyasuze bweru mbo bamubanja rent. Koyo kulaba abalenzi abasajja abakunga butuufu tebabuulirirwa nga babulamu.
Towerabira nti tuli wano ku the Alternative Dig Talk. Mukwano gwange gwaliye topic kiri wandiyagadde twogereko. Is it about family?
You can take your time look for a job, stabilize, men will come. Men will always be there. You will get the men. Bonna goyagala musajja yina goyagala jamufuna.
Embaga ketuke. Bino bitu yasenga na ojaba funa.
Naye ng'oli asitudde ttu yakedde ku macabbaga nti nsitudde ttu. Naye nga mubutuufu agambye nti gy'akyali. Akyali muto.
Is it outside family? Is it society? Oh, could it be relationships? Just be commenting at topic yona gyanjagadde twogereko tujja kwa tujogera kwano ku the alternative dig talk ku share enganzi the snap talk.
The alternative dig talk. Real issues, real talk.
Welcome back from that short commercial break. My name is Edgar Mathew Karuhanga. 24 minutes past 8 a.m. We are into the last part of the show. That is the last few minutes to come to the end of the show. This is the Mighty Drive Show. My name is Edgar. I am with Lilian Luwedde. We had Miss Oliver Wani. She is a nursery school teacher. If you missed that discussion, you must have missed something big. She has been talking about the education sector in the country and how better can we reopen the schools in a safe environment. Still, we're going to be talking about that just a small with this particular lady, Lilian. Lilian, you look smart. I did tell you even today, by the way. I like the coat blended with the white, and that's how Teddy says. Teddy is like, I like the coat. It's blended with the white. Then you put some the demi jeans, and then the shoes. So we're not talking shoes. We're talking the education sector. Lilian, mundabayo nga munamawulire atakoze research ku bintu ebiti. Government olooza yetegese okubanga amasomero gano egagulawo. Abaana bali because batugamba abaana bagenda better vaccinated. That is the first thing batugamba. Tebanna beera, that is the truth. Naye bagenda ba prioritizing n'abasomesa.
Abasomesa bambali vaccinated.
Yeah, 50% otwogerera. Yeah.
But anze nga bwendaba okulaba okwange nganze ngenda kwogeranga mu Uganda at the same time jogerenga mu namawulire.
Okay.
Nze I think amasomero as of now nga bwetwogerera kati wano njogeranga nze mu Uganda tegali ready okugulwawo. Because most of the times essira litekebwa nnyo ku masomero gano agawa wano mu kibuga. Amasomero agali mu byalo
definitely.
Ntojja kwesanga nti waliwo amasomero abaana nga babadde basomera muti olw'ensonga nti oba ebibiina tebimala.
Yes.
But abaana bano banaaba controllinga batya kutandika like obuteeriraana
kubanga let's learn from the past. We bagulawo amasomero ne batugamba ate abaana bagenda kwambalanga masiki nebiki kwedistancinga mu classes
ng'abaana abamu ng'aba classes ezimu tezisoma nti ojja kwesanga nti senior 4 yasoma senior 3 neetasoma oba senior 2 neesoma senior neetasoma. But at the end of the day abaana bano twagala bonna bagende mu maaso nti owa senior 1 wanalaba nga aba senior 4 bo bafulumye nga tije tasenguseemu mu kibiina kyabaddemu kudda mu kibiina kiddako nti morale egenda kufa.
Definitely.
Yensonga lwaki tugenda funa obuzibu bw'abaana okuddamu okusoma. I think wabagulirawo omulundi ogwasooka nalabako amawulire nga abasomesa bangi bagamba nti abaana tebakomyewo okusoma this time round. Ngabagamba nti abaana bafunye embuto naye n'abaana abamu abaluzinze
n'abalenzi bangi abagenze mu kukola ne beerabira
tukijja kuba n'abafunye embuto naye abaana abaluzinze moral y'okusoma
bangi nnyo nga batandise okukwata ssente.
N'abazadde nabo baweddemu amaanyi ag'okuweerera nti omuzadde ajagamba mubutuufu nze byemperera sibitegeera ogenda kuba wakagenda ate okomewo.
Nene school fees bazirina twakyebuuzizaako ne school fees bazirina.
My sister ali msenior naye yali yakagenda nga akasomayo omwezi gumu bwe guti ne baggalawo. Kyokka jjukira
osasudde taamu namba
osasudde taamu
mitwalo nga 8 omugulidde shopping okoze ki
ng'era mu butuufu alina okuddamu okusasula ssente empya.
Ate ne kyebadde okugamba ekyo kati zo ssente omuzadde ze yasasudde banaazimuddiza at the end of the day because ekyo kintu kibaddewo nnyo
olina okuddamu okusasula because
ebya disitamu ebya kaisaali ebyo ebya kaisaali
byakaisali mu nsonga zino naye amasomero gano agasinga waliwo amasomero gano nti omwana agenda okutandika nga amazeyo fees ojja na bank slip ng'olina zero balance
gyegali
mangi nnyo weegaliwo no mu kibuga
nene mu covid babikola kati nibanange tuli kuki
oyengero at least sasulako nzazikira muto wange bamugamba basasuleko 80% like school fees 80% obanga oba obulayo katono nnyo okumala
80% ku mitwalo 10 gye bamitwalo 8 oba omuzaye
omuzadde nga alina abaana senior 6 oba senior 5 okay senior 6 senior 4 senior 2
oteka mu registration iteka mu
registration teka mu kino na kiri njata yetageza field work simanyanga ataka yetaga okubeera mu kisulu candidate classes abayita okubeera mu kisulu
no mu parking
omuzadde ono bakava mu lockdown ebintu byadde tebitambula bulungi so I think as of now amasomero tegali ready kukulwawo naye like kino kituwe ekyokuyiga tu planning so that bwe gaba gaguddwa niba tusanga bizibu byetwasanga ku mundi
Lilian, there is a question gye njagala nkuleetere ekigenda mu maaso mu ggwanga waliwo abaana abali mu kusoma ng'ogambira mu temuli kusoma wetwogerera the students are actually going to school international school students bagenda bali mu kusoma wetwogerera bo basomera ddala
bagulewo bakole ebibuuzo badde mbagala
no bali mu kusoma wetwogerera bali mu kusoma abaana b'abagagga bali mu kusoma abaana b'abavu tebasoma this is something that is big
international schools but n'amasomero amalala amasomero agamba
anti era agamba kyekugambye omanyi wetuga kale nkozesa ekigambo international schools naye nga kale nsinze kujjayo Lilian, njagala tusooke tutunuulye kino ekintu what does it mean for some students to be going to school and the other students not to be going to school in the same country, in the same legislative agenda, in the same laws, in the same constitution, in the same government. Ekyo kintu kiri so serious right now. Sikwe kusosolamu.
Government eina wetatadde maaso gaayo ye education. Nti sawa zino mwana ali mu kibuga ali mu kusoma alina taabu asoma naye competinga n'omwana ali mu
kyalo kabana maido ali epako akyeri amoyo atulek
oli wala nnyo genda wano oli wala nnyo oli wala nnyo oli Karuhanga right nene mu Kampala wano waliwo abaana nga tebasoma okiwulidde nti omwana ono ali because nze tera nnyo gamba my young siblings mbagamba nnyo nti gwe wadde oyinza okuba tosomye naye teweerabira nti okompitinga n'omwana ng'asomera online bwe munaaba mutula ebibuuzo mugenda tula ebibuuzo bye bimu tebajja kuwamu bibuuzo nti gwoke tebajja because tebamanyi nti ono asoma ono tasoma bo balowooza abasinga basoma but most of them tebasoma because wano mu central wennyini wetuli abaana abasinga tebasoma nti waliwo abaana ng'omwana ono okuva ebaggalawo last year taddanga muna kutunula mu kitabo tamanyi kirimu wewavudde okuba nti kati saawa zino abaana bagenda ne bakola mwana atandise okutestinga ku ssente okumuzza mu kiraasi atuule kiba kizibu nnyo atuule okuva ku makya paka olwegulo nga wali abadde atambuza amagi n'aterekayo 3 olunaku wano mu kibiina ajja kuba takola ki ajja kuba tafuna naye gavumenti nze tembagamba bamugamba nti amasomero gonna gaggaddwa I think badde batunuulire amasomero gano because most of these schools are private schools. It's rare to find government schools nga bo basomesa during this pandemic. Nze ndi government product nasomera mu somero lya government. Yes, I'm a UPE product. Era nga bwe tuba tuwumudde of course mwena muwumula bakuba nti babawadde holiday package because baba bagenda nga ne holiday package naye nga ate ffe tugenda nazo. So but government wegamba nti saawa zino erimu kutunuulira amasomero butya bwe gaggulwawo batunuulire omwana tubale omwana ali mu UPE n'omwana ali mu private school nti at the end of the day abaana batula ebibuuzo byebimu bwe munagamba nti abaana batula ebibuuzo byebimu ojja kwesanga nga ebibuuzo bigenda okudda nga bagamba amasomero ga gavumenti abaana bagudde naye nga bali abaana bakoze
kankusalemu ku kirimi nze I want to bring it not from an educational point of view I'm bringing it from a societal point of view enono yetaka about the norms of the land. You have students that are studying okitegera then you have students nga tebali mu kusoma naye nga bonna bali mu society yemu olowooza Lilian abaana bano abatasomye tebali ekyangalumu want we see olaba kubanga ndi mu kulaba kiringa ekigamba in a capitalist world
kino kyonna kyonna ekibaddewo sawa zino kigenda tu affecting
kyendi mukugamba nange nga tetunulidde kati ku education esimanya amasomero wakugula ze ntunulira abantu tunulira abaana
tukirabisizza amaaso ga wano nti okay tukirabidde wano
ebintu webiti Lilian ebintu webiti I'm telling people ebintu webiti bye bireesewo ebintu bye bayita wars oba the genocide oba abantu mass insurrection nti when people believe that there is an inequality where they are that there are some people who are privileged and there are others who are less privileged. That is when you saw what happened, the storming of the Bastille. That was 1780, 95, I don't remember, 88 or prior to the 1789 French Revolution. Abantu abali bafuliranga bo bali basosoleddwa mu society. Kubanga because of their monetary levels, bechanga nibagamba kati tulumbe bagagga. Okitegeera. Kyekiri wano. Nti wali abantu abeerawo ne bakwata ku matama. Ne bagamba bantu mmwe ife twalya what did we do okitegeera and we Ugandans fe lwaki bali basoma fene tutasoma yes kubanga we are in a capitalist world that's true we are in a capitalist world ekigamba capitalist ayisinga ensimbi ya rulinga oba yategeerera abalala nti kyovola wano privatization eri waggulu nnyo naye kyenneebuuza ebintu bino betuli mukola saawa zino tebigenda ku maaso eyo nga gwe wokyogedde maaso eyo tebi affecting eggwanga lino abantu tebawulire bubi because kati kitandisa okulabika kati like ge mazima ag'enkukunala kati gatandisa okulabika mu bantu nti there are those abali privileged who can go to school, who can go online, who have tabs, and there is another one Bambi who's a ghetto youth who's there.
Edgar,
yes.
Nze kintu kino nkiraba muge waliwo angles ezenjawulo mu ekirabira the COVID-19 ono bwe yali ajja tetwamwetegekera African countries ezisinga nga ne Uganda.
Now I say African countries, the whole world was not prepared for the pandemic.
No, because
okujjako ffe kati wogamba the whole world n'oteekawo Africa omanya Africa eri wansi nnyo. Yes.
Africa tulina engeri gye twali tutambuzaamu obulamu ey'enjawulo nti ojja kwesanga omwana w'omukyalo asoma talina tabu naye akeera ku makya n'agenda
n'atambula kilomita nga 3.
amasomero mu mawanga gali gannaggwa dda nti abaana bo agenda okubeera ewaka alina tabu alina laptop okay waba talina tabu alina laptop kwasomera ebintu ng'ebyo okiwulidde nti wano mu Africa COVID-19 yatu affecting in one way or the other. Abamu bagamba nti tuyinza okuba oba tetwafiirwa abantu bangi but kyeyaleeta oba kyetufiiriddwa ate kingi nnyo okikomparinga ku kyamawanga gali ag'ebweru nti ojja kwesanga bali COVID-19 we yajja abaana basigala basoma abaana batambudde ebibiina oli avudde simanya bagiyita basimala grade A simala grade B simala biki ebyo naye wano mu Uganda nti COVID bwe yajja okusoma kwagenda ndoza kwa posingibwa bwe kwa posing wawe kwatekebwa ku hold abaana ne balekerawo okusoma
yes
naye ate abaana abamu bo bafunanga basomanga because amasomero agamu international schools nagana agamaanyi nti kati bagambanga abazadde mugulira abaana taabo mugulira abaana ba laptop nti tujanga kubayo ne Zoom classes.
I think about internet is like a basic need weeri tekiri wano
tutunulira the cost of internet right now. The cost of internet is very high,
even the internet coverage etuuka before imeka mu ggwanga
ne mukampala waneno jagula data ne network yechange
ona asiba twechangirako
evikigano kola nengo ina classes nze ntunulira
ate n'omwana nene
ntunulira katoto musimi bambinga asoma most of the times ayino kakasanti watudde kaka network
tavaawo teyenyenya nako tewenyenya nako
oba oyagala oba
but even abaana abasoma omanyi ffe twatulidde nnyo okusoma kw'abaana naye bano abaana abasomera wano ewaka oba bo babitegeera ebintu bye basoma ng'osoma oli mu kuzungu oli mu kulya wawulidde embuna waliwo abateeka wala essimu negenda maaso class ye nga ali mu kwerira mmere ali mu kukyuka
akafaananyi ke nalabye oli mbusimanga Zoom classes Zoom meeting yataddewo akabumbe ke bulungi nnyo kayina enviiri kabadde masiki kamufaananyi ddala
bakayita kagologosi ako bakayita kagologosi
yali wali akola ki nga yeebase kati bw'oba ku zino lectures oba classes oba tayita mannya nti Edgar gy'oli n'ogamba yes wendi
bw'olaba kifaananyi omuntu waali awo
waali naye nga golooza muntu waali naye nga taliiwo but tutunuulire classes zino eziri online nti abaana abasinga baweereddwa omukisa okutandika okukozesa ab'amasimu oba tablets naye ojja kwesanga nti si bonna nti ali mu kusoma nti
waliwo alina ebirala byali mu kulaba
birala nnyo byasoma
byali
mu kuyiga bye byalowooza nti bikola ki bimutwala maaso nti ajja kulaga maama ndi mu kusoma omwana wange ali mu kusoma
babeera ne tablets nga nnya ze baguddewo bw'ajja n'aswitchi nga wali ku ssomero
gwe bw'ovaawo
ng'aswitchinga ku kirala
bw'okomawo akomyawo eri gy'abadde asomerako of which n'abazadde abamu beesulidde gwannagamu okumonitoringa abaana baabwe nti omwana ali mu kusoma naye ddala kituufu ali mu kusoma muyiteeyiteko nga tamanyi ddala kituufu asoma
baliyita gwiso
egwiso nennyininyini omukwako nga tamanyi ddala kituufu ali mu kusoma naye ate mulimu ebintu byotasobola kusomera Edgar
ku online practical things ogenda birabira
kwata banseni baana kola booti ne booti kola booti ne booti mu chemistry practicals bakugamba simanya kwata simanya sodium simanya biki kigatte mu kiro yes or like olabe kiki ekivudde mu lwesi
katukwate ku simu eno then tugende. Hello, welcome to the Mighty Drive. My name is Edgar. Good morning.
Edgar, Lilian.
Yes, please. Yes, Kato.
Yes,
Kale sebo.
Online teaching.
Yes, sebo.
Ate songa nkulu nange nkwata gongo. Ekisoka kya byonna.
Yes, sebo.
Online teaching involves and includes the use of internet. Naye njagala tugende mu byalo, like in my home place exactly. Okufuna internet olina okutambula and climb up some hill of the internet.
Definitely.
Remember, in the biseera bino, most of the parts in the country balina enkuba.
Yes.
So becoming buy 2 books and maybe some other laptop or a phone. Up in the hill to look for a stable network so that I don't miss whatever is being told that plan. Ekuba jegendo kusanga and you think in that process of me agenda back concentrating.
That's all.
I saw Gendala.
Yes, sir.
What do you mean? It's very so practical, for example.
Yes, sir. You
cannot follow what exactly the lecture or the lesson is all about. Internet, you understand?
Definitely.
So remember the Tukola. Now whole block, but you have to attend classes. For example, if you miss classes, 2 classes in a week for 2 weeks, then you are disqualified. And that's a defeat that is unfair to most of us students. Regarding the conditions that we go through to actually access the small data that we have and attend the class.
Yes.
The internet around. When you call up internet and you know how hard it is.
Definitely.
Then for example, DC sent us an email.
Yeah.
We have to get the vaccine as the mandatory before we resume for physical classes.
Chiri Uganda mama nyabo kato. Bebagamba.
But from my point,
yes,
as an individual, I don't think it should be mandatory for us to all get vaccinated. Because at the end of it all, this doesn't love my life more than I do.
Definitely.
And with your mind, I know reasons why they haven't gone ahead to take that job.
Okay. Yes, sir.
So, when you consider all this, I don't know even what the ministry is. The minister the other time said she was sent by God. I think the other God who said
Katongo maliriza.
There is education, but some things are unfair, the decisions are unfair. The tools they are used in this education, especially in this era, the first century, are still rudimentary and they should not be applied in this era.
All right. Thank you so much, Katoto Musime. Lilian, dachike muba na itwina topic ndajitoka tugeko mudachike.
Amasomero gano okugura okwago agambye nti bonga bo babetagisa okuba nti bakoze ki bali vaccinated naye nagamba mbu yenga
yo vaccine mu gwanga tezirimu
ayina ensonga ze lwaki tanabera vaccinated but
ne vaccine tezirimu mu gwanga Lilian ate bagaye priority is for the students, teachers and the elderly.
Katono yomu kuba students so I know genda okubera
kwa student tugamba bana ba school simu abavubuka mu ina immunity
because wabata ali vaccinated
tugenda kukirizwa mu class
baba sindikide email ku LDC but nze chendaga
these things are impractical
government etunulire ebintu nga bino bagamba nti online studies oba the e-learning process e-learning process eno is it even feasible like esobola bana sobola kudisustaining for some good time because ebintu ebimu
wali abasobola kudisustaining wali abatasobola
against nagamba nti bobanga oli student osoma way yatonatandika kola oyina okufuna sente za data but then why oyina muzadde naye musomesa takola emyaka gigi nemeka
anti kati kyenakuga nti some can afford era kiddayo kiri kye twayogeddeko nti tutuuse mu society ng'abagagga be bagenda okusigala waggulu ate ekyo osigala nga mugagga gwali waggulu abawansi bano baba feelingiddwa nga abali discriminated okitegeera so with that there are bizarre effects that we are not going to talk about.
Actually effects ezo tuyinza obutaziraba kati
yes
naye maaso tugenda kuba tuzikola tugenda kuba tuziraba so
Lilian tukomaawo ku masomero njagala mbudakiika buno obutono bwe tusigazza sooke twogere katemba bannanga agenda maaso mu ggwanga asooka mulungi omulala mubi Chameleone yazzeeyo mwenayo still keeping up with Jose Chameleone Mayanja yazzeeyo mu NRM like and he knelt down because this is something that has been a talk of town right now. He knelt down for a car, a very expensive car, 650 million emotoka ya milioni lukaga mu 5 nafukamira omusajja namujja naonaka nawe to legend tafukamira oloza legend alina okufukamira Lilian okuye nyimbo okumala emyaka 21 ngoli ku top of Ugandan music
nawulirako omuntu omwe yakogera nakawulira wa I think that social media
kubeerako omuntu mungi
mukyewunyisa abayimbi ba Uganda bujje bewanamba bayimbi naye omuntu omwe abatutte n'abatuuza ewantu okumala omwezi mulamba nga
basomesa balya byakulya bya ggulu
bako ekyo naye nga abasomesa music bogo bagamba gwe bamanyi naye oli abatutte ali mu kubasomesa music bafunyeyo ne certificate naye
anenda naye bantu banja bagenzeeyo naffe tutera okugenda
Edgar Karuhanga like the name suggests Chameleone will keep on changing its colors so this was and is not a surprise
era byo muti kyamwewunyisa teri muntu gwe kyayewunyisiza ekyokukyusa kala ekyokufukamira kye kyewunyisiza bannayuganda bangi
kunsi kuno abantu buli omu yeeyisa mu ngeri ye
yes
nti oluusi abantu abamu beetuuma amanyi oba babatuuma amanyi naye amanya gano
gayina simbo
gayina kyegategeeza oba gayina oluusi geeraga
oli gwe bagamba ziraba muzaale
era nga ziraba muzaale era nga zimulabye eki ennaku kaakati mwami Chameleone because yali mu NRM
okogedde bulungi nadda mu jema
nadde eno
then namana ayingira DP block namana ayingira NUP tomujjukira mutata we yaliwo wa DPS
naye atuse mu DP ageza okola waliwo abafuluma
nagamba wano sisobola onayingira NUP
ogenda okola abafuluma bagenda eri
wali ekinyusi weevu nayingira weevu ne bamumakadi bayigawo
wano mba nkola ki
automatic oli muyimbi munnange
alina okumbeereramu bakitanga kwebeereramu so agenda otuuka eri ng'empapula bazibala bulala
nga bamumanyi Chameleone nze bwe ngamba
baali bamanyi baali balina ensonga zaabwe lwaki tebakola
ojjukira kadi ya lodimeya tebagiwa muntu yenna jjukira
n'abantu abamu Edgar tebafuna kadi muganda w'omwami Kyagulanyi omwami ani
yani erinya nange ndirabidde mu katono
naye omwami oyo tebamuwa
Lilian wenkugambye Chameleone kyanjawulo kiti Chameleone Lord Mayor ekifo kya Lord Mayor kwali kwesimbyeko oli Latif Sebagala Latif withdrawing agamaze sikyali kubaki kuwa Lord Mayor nga NUP ng'erina omuntu asigaddewo ye Chameleone okumuwa kadi ya Lord Mayor Chameleon ne bagimumma ne bagamba you know tibagimumma.
No, I think ekyamumisa kadi gwe kuba nti ono bwe batamuwa kadi esalawo n'agamba ngenda independent.
Teyajja kujjuka yagamba agenda ulijjukira kati kankujjukira
bulungi omwami ono bwe bamumma kadi
yagenda independent kuba MP Kawempe North
ni Chameleon
ngamba so gundi
mwami Latif jjukira bwe bali bawadde Latif Sebagala kadi Chameleon tebamuwa bwe batamuwa kadi agamba nedda ninga aliriddwamu oluke oli kyali wange of course badde nsubira okuba nti bagenda
nga kalifaganaga we yagamba
naye ngenda independent nasalawo nakola ki nagenda independent wagenda independent omwami oli withdrawing kati nga yasubira nti kadi egenda muwe neche yaweebwa kadi era bw'atafuna kadi ye alabye ddala ng'alinga aliriddwa because oli bwe ya withdrawing of course yali agimanya yoshuwa wini kadi nze
Wachoza tebagimwa ate tebali mulago bagibwa
because bali basibyewo omuntu eyamala ate naye kola ki ne yekubira
anti lwaki tebawa Chameleon olowooza because Chameleon bali tebamwesiga
no I think yabalaga nti nze kati wadde munyime kadi ze neetaaga ekifo antya nja kyetaaga kangende independent
instead of NUP not putting someone
olaba Edgar ekibiina kina ebintu byekitambulirako
principles
like bwe baba bakola kino bwe kikolebwa nti waliwo abamu abeewaggula ne balowooza nti bo basinga ekibiina amaanyi ndako Edgar leo point yange waliwo abeewaggula nga balowooza nti basinga ekibiina amaanyi nti nze ndi munene ndi serebu bannayuganda bammanyi bajja kumpa akalulu naye ate ne kikwewuunyisa nti yamalira mu kifo kyakumeka kyakuna
sina kyakumi sina kyakusatu
si kyakubiri si kyakusatu wabula yamalira mu kifo kyakumeka kyakuna nti abantu abamu ekyo kikulaga ki nti abantu abamu bagendanga basalanga eddiiro okuva mu kino ekibiina adde mu kibiina ekirala ng'alina ebintu
kyekyo kyenange kyeni mu kugamba
nti oli agamba nti kansale enva eno teri nnyo kigaati wabula kangende eno gyempitirawo kakati bw'agenda otuuka eri nga ye kyeyasuubira
si kyekiriyo
si kyafunye at the end of the day agamba ndiriddwamu
naye kyembuuza legacy ya Chameleon egenda image because okay ensonga gyoyogerako ntuufu nnyo but the thing is this if NUP believe that Chameleon was credible enough bali muwadde ticket yo olinga amaze okuzinga because kyakolebwa katikamu ne baga oli omulenzi yava ku kadi ya NUP ne bakiwa omule
olaba Edgar
no soko ndeko malize I've listened to you Lilian nkugamba there are some people whom they know when you have set a precedent for yourself ng'abantu bagamba ono ku ground fete tumutegeera kyovola NUP yakugamba katulekeo olukwaga at least okitegeera because sebagala etiquette kamalize etiquette yes
naye tikyewunyisa NUP
teyamuwa yabawo omuntu omulala
omwami katongole omutongole serebu naye tebamuwa
kyekyo kyekugamba they know them
no bano baserebu bo balowooza nti engeri oli gyali nti kyali waffe muyimbi
it was just excitement
oba ndi TV presenter oba ndi radio presenter
the thing is this Lilian, the excitement came in like this artists thought that because another artist went there and did it we can also did it okitegeera bonna bajjanga bamanyi ono wabakikoze yes there's like a statement mwaka ulia if the other one did it why don't I also did it so omwami oyo balowooza abayimbi tebajja because it is something the zeal that they had like for example I'm going to give you an example Bobby Wine before even he came to office he showed that he was a leader but the difference is these artists did not let me give you an example of Karuhanga you know excitement wojja ne kukwata nawe wulira nsobola okubeera MP okitege tolowoozeza maaso feasibility togikoze nasobola oyitawo Chameleon yalabanga counterpart we Bobby Wine azze n'ayingira parliament nga yawulira because musically Chameleon was actually bigger than all of them if we have to speak the truth he was bigger than Bebe Cool and Bobby Wine bonna nga abasinga so he felt that nze nsobola okujja neneteekawo nenkuba because I'm a bigger artist than him naye nga yeerabidde nti bannayuganda si basiru bannayuganda bakulaba bafollowinga legacy yo ebadde eta mu music industry nekye neebuuza nga ndira njagala osokompe idea yo ku kino at the end of the day Joseph Chameleon how will he be remembered in the country? For example, now people are comparing Bobby Wine to Mandela. Bobby Wine has been given billions of shillings from the government and he has refused that. It is an open secret. Everybody knows. Okitegeera Chameleon weriba nga atudde mu bukadde bwe Uganda eri mujjukirako ki alijjukirwa ng'ani
yayimba tayimbye
ekyo kyo kituufu legend
enyimba azimbe ono legend
ndowooza adde mu kuyimba kati era addeyo adde mu kuyimba ebya politics akakasiza ensi bimulemye nedda bagenda gamba bajournalist tuli mumukuba naye Chameleon the fact is right kati do you know what determines politics? Consistency, a legacy you leave behind. Okitegeera nti bakujjukirako ne bagamba ono yali bwati
abayimba n'ennyimba nga balwanirira
ne Chameleon yayimba ennyimba ennungi
nga balwanirira advising nti waliwo abayimbi abayimba ennyimba
bamanyi
nga balwanirira
bamanyi abo naye nabo era
babasuubula just there
tebiswaza.
That is politics because waliwo n'abantu ababadde ku ludda oluvuganya government nga bakuba government tekoze kino tekoze kiri at the end of the day
babamazeemu katiibwa
babasuubudde ne badda ku luuyi luli babasuubula ne badda ku luuyi luli ne badda mu government
so they are products ogamba okubasuubula ogamba they are products no they are actually products no the fact is these people are products babasuubula busuubuzi
babatuteeri batuseeri batandise okwogera olulimi
oludica
nga bw'olwogedde nti yali gavumenti ekoze kino gavumenti
ne gavumenti emulaba kati kyekoze kati tolaba nti muneekoze kyo amalwaliro togalaba anti awo watandikira
polindi yange nali gina okuweereza mu gavumenti nti mukama yalaba nga neetaaga okubeera mu ki
one thing nze Lilian ekintu kyenjize nga tuwunzika kansooke nkubire ekintu kyenjize kati Lilian kyekyokuba nti nno mu bulamu buno wa time nsiba nkyogera give time revealing ebintu bingi mu relationships mu politics mu finances everything in the world time because who expected that a man who came and vowed for the people nalaga nti ali ku bantu abakkiririzaamu n'ayogera ku NUP nalaga mbuno yakkiriza mu mugendo ogwo akyuse bw'atyo
olaba Edgar Mathew Karuhanga ogedde ku time naye nange ne nkugamba nti time is the best
teacher true
ebintu bingi nnyo and
akulaga ababo
and masks people's faces byonna because you might think nti oseka n'omuntu nga museka wano naye bw'akyuka bw'ate emabega agenda kusigala ng'aseka naawe oba nga taseka naawe it's a matter of time n'olaba nga ekintu kyonna kikyuse ekintu kye wali tosuubira n'ogamba wunda akoze bwati ne bwati badde simusuubira but nze
bwensomayogerako mu dakiika by the way mu kujemi culture naye bambi
bwensoma I think we shall talk about that tomorrow but
bwensoma
in the Bible at home there was a teaching my sister gyakola nti ebiseera ebisinga tubiraba abantu olina akola ekitwandibanda gundi nakola ekintu bwekiti ne bwekiti but at the end of the day we are humans just expect anything out of a human being because lero jamulaba ngaali bwati enkyo mulaba ngaali bwati it's because that person is a human being ate kyekimufuula okuba nti muntu nsolo
and so expect anything from a chameleon a chameleon changes its colors
from a human being ne wano wetugenda okuba nga tumunzikira Edgar Mathew Karuhanga
God bless Uganda.
Thank you very much. Mwenda babaddeko Jeremiah Mchibi, Innocent Aine byonna, Katutu Musime, mwebale ni mwenda babaddeko n'abalala besobodde kubanga menya amanyi omwami mukose Anthony Koli, Mchala Farida Bikobere Koli, omwami Norman tumuhimbise naye Koli. Mwebale ni mwenda ababaddeko okuva gye twatandikidde okutuuka wano ate bwe tugenda okubanga tuwunzikira show yaffe olunaku olwaleero. Tomorrow is in-house Thursday era musubire bingi nnyo emboozi nga zino tugenda kuba tuzoogerako
eya parliament byonna bibagambe
tugenda kuba tuzoogerako Mukyala Tenjo Teddy waali nnyo environmental tips Mwami Rogers tulyahabwe naye waali
yakomyewo in style
tugenda kuba nga twogera bingi nnyo olunaku olwaleero don't miss era bw'obanga olina topic nayo gy'oyagala tudiscussingeko gidropping ku Facebook page yaffe nsigadde nze Omumbejja Luwedde Lilian producer abadde Rogers tulyahabwe ate abadde ku camera the lady herself Mukyala Tenjo Teddy Nabukera kambagaliza olunaku olungi tusinkana olwenkya
mwera
Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.